Yeah, it was probably about 2 weeks. It was sore when I touched it.
Like, Daddy, let Daddy fix the boo-boo.
There's still marks on my leg.
All of a sudden, I heard him screaming, "Ooh, ooh, the dog bit me, the dog bit me." Muffin, Muffin, whole Muffin back, like he was crazy, man.
You, that's completely unreasonable.
If you want to fight, I can get you boxing gloves, but we're not here for that. My first case ever with worms.
Come here, Sophie. Get him, Rusty.
Can I say something?
No. If she hadn't had an oral agreement, how do you do? I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, sir. You claim the defendant's dog bit you?
Yes.
Where did this happen, sir?
It happened in my condo complex.
Okay, and what was the date?
It was September 15th, 1998.
Okay. How long have you lived there in that complex?
I lived there on and off for 12 years.
Okay. Have you known the defendant and his dog?
Yes, he's lived there, I think, about 7 years.
Is that right, sir?
That's right.
This is your dog that...
Yeah, this is Muffin.
Muffin?
Yeah.
Okay.
The vicious dog.
What part of your body was bitten?
Above my ankle.
Above your ankle?
Yes.
Your right foot?
Sit in.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Sit down.
All right.
Down. Down.
Do you have a picture of the wound?
I have a picture taken about a week ago. I took pictures
Yeah.
the day after and 10 days after. They did not come out. There's still marks on my leg.
Let me see your leg.
Okay.
You may look also, sir, if you like.
Okay.
You sit, baby.
That scar?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was 4 puncture marks.
Okay. All right. Did you see a doctor?
Yes, I did. I have a doctor's note and the 2 doctor bills.
All right. Let's see them.
I went to see the doctor 2 different times.
The total amount of the bills?
They were $240 and $240, and my insurance company paid for it. I have copies of the bills.
What did he do for the 240?
Well, he just checked the wounds and just looked at it and checked it, and
In charge of $240?
yeah.
And you say you had pain and suffering?
Yeah, it was probably about 2 weeks. It was sore when I touched it. It wasn't a lot of pain unless I touched it.
Did you take
or
anything for
bumped it.
pain?
No.
Not even aspirin or
Well, a little
Tylenol?
aspirin I took, but not a lot.
Were you there, sir? And did you witness this?
I never saw the dog bite him, Your Honor.
Were you there at the time that he alleged the dog
Yes,
bit
I was
him?
playing with his dog, feeding him cookies. We did that for 7 years. The dog knows him. Now, the thing is, if you watch this dog now, I think what he did, accidentally, he moved and he kicked the dog like that. He turned around, and then he kept kicking and yelling. And the dog was frightened of him.
Did you step on the tail of the dog?
No, what he's doing is not, well, I don't believe he's telling the truth. The dog did bite me. He did see it.
I asked you if you stepped on his tail.
No.
Okay. The dog then bit you. Did it cause any bleeding?
Yes, yes, it was bleeding.
How soon after this happened did you go to see the doctor?
2 days later.
Why did you wait 2 days?
Well, I don't like going to the doctor. I didn't want to go. And once the dog bit me, he did say that the dog has been nipping on people.
Did you say that?
That's a lie. No, sir.
No, that isn't. And I have seen the dog bite one other person, but I didn't know the person.
That's another lie, Your Honor.
And I did not get the person's name. I have a witness that has, when he served the papers to Buddy, the dog was outside his condominium without a leash.
That
has nothing to do with this case. Was he on a leash the time he bit you?
Yes, he was on a retractable leash and he didn't have it. He knew the dog was biting. He told me the dog had been nipping at people. He let the dog go.
I did not say that, Your Honor. He's lying. I'm sorry.
let
Well, let's
the
say he
dog
was
go.
mistaken, at least, from your standpoint.
He's mistaken.
He also has
Okay.
been to animal control a number of times for his dog barking. He has
That's
letters
another-
stating that the
another
dog
lie.
Sir,
barks.
dog barking has nothing to do with biting.
Well, he has
All
letters
dogs
from
bark, I
people.
think.
Well, he has letters from neighbors stating that his dog is not a problem, but his dog's been to animal control at least 2 times that I know of.
All right. You have a witness here. Was the witness there? Did you see it happen?
He didn't see the dog
I
bite.
did not see the dog bite, but I saw the aftermath of that.
What do you mean the aftermath?
The condition of Michael's leg, and there were puncture wounds there, and I said, well,
2 puncture wounds?
more like 4.
4.
Yeah, and I said he probably should go have the doctor look at it, because any animal bite can be dangerous.
Did you see this happen, sir?
I did not see it, sir, but I know the dog well. I've lived in the complex for 6 years. I'm a neighbor of actually both of these people.
Vicious dog?
Not a vicious dog, and I've never known this dog to bark. I've heard this gentleman's dog
How does he
barking.
communicate if he doesn't bark?
Well, I mean, I have not heard him barking in a way that would be disruptive or disturbing.
What kind of papers do you have there, Mr. Garion?
I got 6 letters here, notarized from different tenants in the building to verify the dog doesn't bark, doesn't disturb them. They're all my neighbors. This
The reason I
gentleman,
brought up the barking, because he has those letters, but he has been to animal control.
yes,
He has
I've been to animal control 4 years ago when the dog was barking from another guy downstairs that was a nuisance. I went to animal control with him before the district attorney. The district attorney told me I should do something about the dog. I should cut the dog's throat maybe so it won't bark. I said, well, let him cut the kid's throat so she doesn't cry at 2 and 3 in the morning. Now, this is another case. So I spent $3,000, Your Honor, sending my dog to school, to the Institute of Animal Training, and it graduated 4 years ago. I have
With
never
honors?
complained. He's never
With
complained
honors?
to me.
Did the dog graduate with honors?
Beg your pardon?
Did the dog graduate with honors?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How do
That's
you
what I
arrive
thought
at
when he
how
said
do you
it was
arrive at
barking.
$5,000, sir?
Well, because
I know that's the limit you can sue for, but that's
Your Honor, may I say something?
no, not yet.
Okay.
No.
because it wasn't an accident. He knew his dog was biting, and he had the retractable leash. Instead of leaving the leash next to him, he let it run up to me.
That may be negligence, but in order to get punitive damages, you have to have fraud, oppression, or malice. Malice would be, for example, if he took his dog and said, sick him, go bite him. That would be malice. But he didn't do that, did he?
No.
No. Then what do you think the case is worth without punitive damages?
That I don't
2 weeks
know.
pain and suffering, barely taking aspirin.
Well, I still have to live in the building with him, and he doesn't always have
Sir,
the
I'm
dog
not.
on a
You're
leash.
not going to get anything for future loss.
Okay.
What do you think the case is worth otherwise?
Well, I'll let you decide that. I think
Oh, I
it's worth-
will.
I know you will.
Irrespective of
But
what you say, I will decide the
I think
case.
it's worth $5,000 because it didn't need to
Well,
happen.
you and I disagree on that
Right.
completely. Yeah. But you said you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'd like to
sir?
say something, Your
Yes.
Honor. At the time this thing happened, I was playing with his dog, giving him cookies like I do all the time. All of a sudden, I heard him screaming, "Oh, the dog bit me, the dog bit me, muffin, muffin, whole muffin back," like he was a crazy man. So I said, "Where did he bite you?" And he kept jumping and jumping. I said, "Let me see where he bit you." I did see, not down there by his ankle, but here, a little mosquito bite with a scratch like that. And I think what happened, Your Honor, when I demonstrated this dog before jumping around, I think he scared the dog accidentally. He didn't mean to kick him. See, I don't think he stepped on his tail.
I did not kick your dog.
Don't interrupt him
Okay.
either, please, sir.
I think the dog jumped on his leg and scratched him because there was no blood there. But I went over to his leg and I rubbed it like Daddy, let Daddy fix the boo-boo. And I said, what do you want me to do? Stop yelling. What do you want me to do for you? You want to go to the hospital? You want to go to the doctor? What do you want? Tell me what you want and I'll do it. He says, nothing, just hold your dog. This was planned, Your Honor. I believe it was planned because there's somebody else in the building that he's very friendly with that hates me for no reason, doesn't like the dog. I believe he spoke to that gentleman because he walks his dog.
Did you speak to someone who dislikes Mr. Gary?
And I
No.
think he must have told him to do it. Sue him. Sue
No,
Buddy.
and see, it's his attitude.
Did he rub your leg?
Yes, he
had
rubbed
no
the leg.
mark
He
on
saw
it.
it was bleeding, that had the 4 teeth marks. That's when he said, "I'm so sorry. She's been nipping at people's legs
I
lately."
did not say that. The dog's
All
never
right,
nipped at
I
anybody.
heard that.
And that's the reason I was asking for money, because I still have to,
Do
you know,
what?
I can't go to the elevator because he takes the elevator. I mean, it's an inconvenience, and I don't want to be bit again. I
Short
have
recess.
nothing against
What do
him.
you got there? You got something else?
Yeah, this is a letter he wrote to me that I didn't get until 3 weeks after the dog bite. Now, he writes that and tells me don't get in touch with him. He doesn't say anything to me that he went to the hospital. I would have paid for it. I would have taken him to my own doctor. He said everything was fine, everything's okay. And I apologized again and gave his dog another cookie.
This
I
doesn't.
just
This
never-
doesn't help me. Take a short recess. I'll come back. Give you my
Can I
decision.
give you these other letters, please?
Give
Or
them the
you
bailiff.
got them, okay.
I think what he did was fail to notify me that my cat had feline leukemia.
He was also a diabetic, which means he had a high blood glucose level.
She was practically comatose. I figured I needed to go to another doctor to get a second opinion.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
California, we have a strict liability law for dog bites. There can be mitigating circumstances because the dog may have been provoked. I think there was some provocation here, even though it may have been inadvertent. I buy the defendant's version of the fact that I think that although he didn't see it, that the plaintiff stepped on the tail of the dog. All these letters that I've received indicate that this dog is a very docile, calm little dog, wouldn't harm a flea. The flea might harm him, but he wouldn't harm one. At any rate, we then come to the issue of damages. We have two forms filled out by a doctor in which he says that he spent 40 minutes with the plaintiff. I can't imagine what he did in 40 minutes because he doesn't say. He says that the kind of thing that he did comes under 99215. Well, I looked very carefully at every one of these things that says diagnosis, and it has a number. And there is not one 99215, so I don't know what the doctor did. And then I read the letter from the doctor, and this letter is to confirm that I am the primary care physician for Mr. Michael Whedon. He was seen in my office on September 17. That's 2 days after the alleged dog bite. This consisted of a dog bite. The dog bite was above the right ankle. There were 4 puncture wounds on the ankle, also some bruising as well. Mr. Whedon returned to our office for follow-up visit on September 28th. The bruising was minimal. He has recovered 90%. Well, here in the letter he says that the follow-up visit was on the 28th of September. On the form it says it was on the 30th. But since it was a dog bite, I believe there was a bite of some kind, I'm going to give you half of what the doctor charged, and then maybe he's getting overpaid. But I'm going to give you $240 for that, allow you $500 for pain and suffering, which to me is very, very minimal, because that's all you did suffer. Anybody that only takes a couple of aspirin in 2 weeks is not suffering from any pain, particularly. As I told you before, there's no punitive damages because that's only for fraud, oppression, or malice. And there's certainly none of those things here. As to the mitigation, I'm deducting 25% from the $740. So my judgment is for plaintiff for $555.
Well, I believe he did make it up, and I believe it was all over money, that he wanted some money. He made it up because somebody else in the building probably told him, oh, if the dog, Buddy's dog bit you, then why don't you sue him? And we've been friends for 7 years, as you can see. I play with his dogs all the time. I don't even know why he did this. If he had a doctor bill, he could have came to me. I would have gave it to him. I would have taken him to my doctor. He said, it's okay, leave him alone. He wasn't bleeding. He didn't have any puncture marks. He had a scratch with a mosquito bite. But he won, so he let him have $500. Enjoy it.
I think I should have won the whole 5,000. It doesn't matter that I didn't, because I know what was true, and the people who live in the building know what's true. That his dog has been biting people. His dog,
What
he's been
people?
to
You
animal
never even said what
control
people. Why
more
didn't you
than
get
once,
names?
Probably at least 3 times that I know of.
Why didn't you get
So-
names? You're a liar.
And he's not in it for the money. He owns
not
2
in-
condos in the.
You're a liar and he's a liar.
I don't need.
Don't call me a liar.
I'm calling you a liar. You want to sue me too? You want another 500?
Call
and
me a liar.
I don't
You
know.
are
I think
a
it's
liar.
really silly because I think
Gosh.
he's
Too bad he's got such
insane.
nice dogs
I mean,
that have to live with him.
I just think he just says things and yells and hollers and
Oh, yeah.
I think it's crazy.
And moved her and isolated her to where she did not give this contagious disease to those other cats.
Cats will live with leukemia, but not with leukemia and being a diabetic.
Ultimately, the cat died.
The Animal Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph A. Wapner, Judge presiding.
I know you've each been sworn. I have read your complaint, sir. You're claiming that the defendant provided vet services that were substandard?
Not necessarily substandard. I think what he did was fail to notify me and my cat that my cat had feline leukemia,
Okay.
which caused certain other things.
When did you take the cat to him?
March 12th, 1998.
Okay. And what happened to the cat ultimately?
Ultimately, the cat died.
When did the cat die?
Died on August 6th, 98.
Of leukemia?
That's what it appears, yes, doctor.
Okay. You say he didn't advise you that the cat had leukemia.
Correct.
And if he had advised you that the cat had leukemia, would there have been a different result, do you think?
I think the cat still would have died, but I would have
when?
done probably on August 6th. But I'm not questioning the death of the cat. I'm questioning the fact that
Well, but let's say that he did not tell you, and I'm going to ask him whether he did or he didn't. But let's say he didn't tell you. What difference did it make legally?
okay, on the first step, on March 12th, when I specifically asked him if the cat had anything that was contagious to other cats, he said no. When he had a blood test that showed the cat had feline leukemia, I could have taken my other cats that were in contact with the cat that died, ultimately, and moved her and isolated her to where she did not give this contagious disease to those other cats.
Is leukemia a contagious disease?
Highly contagious. And
Is it contagious, sir?
It's not highly contagious, no.
But it is contagious.
A lot of cats live together for years, and maybe one of them will die from leukemia, the rest of them get along fine.
Did any of your other cats contract the disease?
If they have it, it's not active in the cat at this moment.
Sir, did you test the cat for leukemia?
I'd done a blood test on it, and it came up positive for leukemia.
Did you tell him?
She said I didn't. No, I just have to believe. I don't usually not tell people what I get on the blood test.
You have it in your records?
It's on my records that the cat tested positive for leukemia. Yes, I don't put
It's
down.
not in your record that you told him.
No, I wouldn't. I don't put that down.
You normally would do it.
Normally, I tell people that what their cat test, what the blood test shows, whether it's a cat or a dog.
Is it a treatable disease?
No, they eventually will die from it, but you can prolong it. I mean, some cats live 5 years.
How long have you been practicing, sir?
33 years.
If you had advised him that the cat had leukemia, do you think there would have been a different result as to the date of death?
No. The cat also tested positive for diabetes. He was also a diabetic, which means he had a high blood glucose level. And this is what we were trying to treat, is get that glucose level down so the cat would survive this. But with the being a diabetic and also testing positive for leukemia, the cat probably was going to, I mean, a lot of cats will live with leukemia, but not with leukemia and being a diabetic.
What is the 78125, sir? What is that for?
The last time I took the cat to Dr. Thomas was on July 31st, 1998. At that time was the third time, and he kept increasing the dosage of insulin that I was giving her daily. This time he increased it to 10 units a day. She was practically comatose. I figured I needed to go to another doctor to get a second opinion. I wanted to be sure that diabetes was indeed what was causing all these problems. So I took her to another vet. He recommended I take her to transfer immediately to emergency health animal clinic. So from August 1st to August 4th, she received treatment. She received fluids, trying to save her. We tried to get records from the doctor from August 1st to August 4th to let us know what he had done. When we finally got him on August 4th, it clearly showed that the cat had feline leukemia, which the doctor said that the other doctor said that that was probably the underlying cause of what was happening at that particular time. And I wouldn't have incurred that $781.25 worth of expenses because I would have made a decision not to make her suffer through all the tests that she ended up having to suffer through.
This is not a malpractice suit, and plaintiff aptly pointed that out. But he says he wasn't told about the results of the blood test about the leukemia, only told about the diabetes. And the defendant really doesn't rebut that. He says he doesn't remember, basically. It's not in his records as to whether he said that or not. Generally, doctors, veterinarians should put everything in the record. I told him about the results. I called him or I wrote him a letter. At any rate, the crux of the case is what the plaintiff has told me, that he would not have spent money for the second opinion in what appeared to be an emergency if he had been told that the cat had leukemia. And I think you're confirming it, doctor, in the sense that you're telling me that if he had been told that, you generally don't spend the money to keep prolonging life when it's going to happen, unless there's chance of a long life being prolonged. At any rate, he was being treated by you for the diabetes, not for leukemia. And it just verifies it. It's straight. Judgment plaintiff 781.25.
After 33 years, I make a few mistakes, and then somebody like this comes along and all of a sudden jumps down your throat for something that could have been easily overlooked. So no, I don't tend to change. I've been practicing for 33 years. I think I know what I'm doing. I make mistakes. Everybody in business makes a mistake. Not everybody has to pay for it.
Well, I think he probably has a lot of experience and he's made some mistakes, and he probably won't make this one again.